te aroha, te whakapono, te rangi marie, tato tato e, te aroha, te whakapono, te rangi marie, tato tato e, te aroha, te whakapono, te rangi marie, tato tato e, tato tato e, tato tato e.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Let us offer this program and our collective loving salutations at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Swami. Indeed, it's a privilege and honor to be part of this auspicious and momentous launch of Sri Sathya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand. This program consists of music program by young adults and keynote address by National President Brother Murali Kruthiventy and Deputy National President Uncle Mike Nayakar, followed by activity reports presented by regional presidents and offerings by all center presidents who are part of Sisat Sai Global Council. Today, we are very fortunate to have Brother Vedinarayanan as guest speaker. Brother Vedinarayanan does not require any introduction. Brother starts his day with Vedic invocations in the early morning in Prashanti Nilayam, and also he leads Vedic chantings in Sai Kulwant Hall both in the morning as well as in the evening sessions. Brother is so fortunate to learn Vedam from the great scholar and the Rishi who created Sai Gayatri, Sri Kamavadani Garu. Brother completed his science graduation from Swami's College, and on Swami's instructions, he completed master's degree in philosophy from Bangalore University and won gold medal, and he also did his master's in Sanskrit. Upon Swami's instructions, he has been teaching Sanskrit in Swami's school for so long. Brother had so many experiences over 4 decades of his association with Swami, and he is going to share with us his experiences with Bhagavan today. Let's all sit back and enjoy this divine program for next 2 hours and gain Bhagavan's blessings. Thank you, Sairam.
Humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan. On behalf of the Sri Sathya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand, I welcome all the Sai devotees in New Zealand to this launch program. The launch program of the Sri Sathya Sai Overseas Organization is an opportunity for all members to know where we are at this stage of the organization. When I say at this stage of the organization, I mean very much about the organization which has just been formed. It's only 2 months since we formed this organization on the day of Guru Purnima. Now, this organization is aligned to the Global Council in Puttaparthi. Being aligned to the Global Council means it helps provide better coordination, better planning, and better cohesiveness at the top of the structure. That is between the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust, the Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organization of India, and the international organization. The organization in New Zealand also has been built and is being built on a strong foundation. We have already inducted office bearers at various levels to carry out activities that would help in the sadhana for its members. The National Council at the top has also been inducted with members. We have Brother Mike Naikar as the Deputy National President, Sister Nidhi as the Service Coordinator, Brother Mahesh Athi as the Devotional Coordinator, Brother Yogan Kumar as Coordinator for Secretarial Services, Brother Ravi Grover as our Information Coordinator. We have two regional presidents in the committee, in the council, that is Brother Shalendra for the Northern region and Sister Nandini for the Central and Southern regions. Now, the structures are very important at every stage because structures provide the basis and also the firm foundation for activities to go forward. The regional bodies also have a regional council, and that is formed of the center presidents. And then we also have the wing coordinators, that is devotional, service, education, under which we have regional coordinators. And all this structure in all gives a good, strong binding force for the organization, a better planning platform for the organization, a better platform for execution of its programs. It is important, however, that all the office bearers take these positions as a responsibility given to them by Swami himself, a responsibility towards all the members, and carry on their activities in a manner that would please Swami. We also at the same time have a responsibility to the community in which we live in, the people in the community. We need to see that we cater to their needs, to their necessities. When and wherever we can, we should help the communities around us. All our programs are based on programs that will not only give a platform for the members to do their sadhanas, but also at the same time, as Swami had mentioned in his letter to his brother in 1947, that he had come also to alleviate the sufferings of the poor and the needy. I'm just paraphrasing here, but those may not be the exact words, but we have a responsibility to the community, and that should be uppermost in our minds. I also want to let you all know that the organization is in the process of getting registered and also under the Charities Commission, so that when we do our activities, it's well registered, well documented with the government agencies in New Zealand as well. The organization is in its formative stage. So there will be a lot of expansion at the national level. The national body will induct some more members. The regional bodies will also induct more members. And so would, I think, the centers at this stage. The centers that we have 7 registered centers at the moment, and we have some other centers where members are aligned to the Global Council, and we hope to see our brothers and sisters soon in this organization, and all working together, all working in unity, and all carrying on the work that Swami has ordained for us. I also thank the transitioning team, which has been working for probably more than 2 months now, and seeing that there is a smooth transition wherever required. But at the same time, I'm reaching out to the other brothers and sisters in the Satsai International Organization also, and say that let us all work with unity. Let us all work with Swami's teachings in our minds, and let us all see that there's no animosity between brothers and sisters. For all of us are in the same path, but we are at this stage probably in different junctions. So let us all work together. Let us all work with unity and see that we carry on and carry forward this Sri Satsai Overseas Organization of New Zealand to glory days, to days when we all will be working on major projects. We have a lot of plans. We have a lot of ideas coming up every day in our meetings that we should see those projects gain ground, and we'll also deliver them on time. Now, just on some of the programs that we are doing, we have national programs. We're reaching out to people in Fiji with our service projects. We are doing devotional programs. We have launched a program called Pathway to Prashanti, which is a regular online program on Saturday, and that's going well. We have speakers coming from Prashanti on that program, and also from elsewhere in the world who talk to us on spiritual matters. We also have our educare programs going, and we are working with the SSSIO at this stage on those programs, but we hope that we will carry on working, because they are very important programs for our youth, for our young adults, for our teenagers, and also for our young ones who are learning the ropes at this stage. In all, I hope you will enjoy this launch program. And all, we all have to focus on our sadhanas and go forward in our quest for the divinity within ourselves. Om Sai Ram.
Om Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. My name is Mike Naiker, Deputy National Chairperson and the Interim President of North Shore GC Sai Center. The formation of Global Council appealed to me, as this overarching structure provides a platform for the 3 organizations set up by Swami to work together more united and as a receptacle for collective wisdom. Global Council also provides space for these 3 organizations to work as independently as before. The process of change brings its own challenges, turmoils, and a period of unsettling atmosphere. We've all been experiencing this over the past few months, and I take strength that this is Swami's Leela, and soon this will also pass. Swami forewarned us of the process of winnowing to remove hard grain from chaff. I pray that with every toss we are being subjected to, we safely land back at the lotus feet of dear Swami, cleaner and cleaner and more purified. Devotees throughout New Zealand have realized the alignment and path shown by the Global Council, the path to Parthi, our Father's abode. In the past, we've made a number of group visits to Puttaparthi, and we realized the huge impact this makes on our individual yearning and to the organization as a whole. The team that participated in Christmas decorations of 2012 and 2018 are unlikely to forget the journey made together and the weeks spent in Parthi. Our members have come together quickly to form Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand. This required much thought, effort, time and dedication, which the devotees generously gave. Generally, members tend to be engrossed in center activities without too much concern at the happenings at high level. However, this time, the organizational change made a call to those members to lift their thoughts beyond center level and to focus on the broader picture, to participate in setting up an organization as a legacy to their oncoming generations. Within a few months, our organization has actively swung into action in spite of difficult times being experienced due to COVID lockdowns. Service activities to those in need both locally and offshore has been actioned. A devotional initiative called Pathway to Parthi has been put into place to keep us all focused on what Swami requires of us, that we realize our own inherent divinity. Pathway to Parthi provides a platform for center-based devotional activities as well as weekly motivational speakers, some sourced from Parthi. At the back end of setting this organization, there are matters relating to legal and statutory requirements. This involves drawing up trust deeds, registration with Charities Commission, setting up bank accounts, and getting appropriate insurance cover. As you can imagine, this is not an easy process involving external experts like lawyers, accountants, and banks. During this COVID period, it takes days even before our phone calls are returned. However, the good news is that we have the necessary bank account and insurance in place, allowing us to proceed. Let me say a few words about our North Shore Sai Center. This center includes 4 members who originally formed a Sai Center at North Shore. When forming this center 30 years ago, they wrote to Parthi and received a letter signed by Swami himself blessing them. The amazing thing that the letter came to them addressed to one of the members' post box address. Swami knew the box number even though they had omitted to write that in their letter to Swami. Brothers and sisters, we are undergoing a period of divine test. Swami expects us to rise to his expectation, to internalize his teachings, and to transform yourselves. Let us rededicate ourselves, work together in love and harmony. Om Sai Ram.
तेरे साथ रहेंगे प्यार की नगरी में सदा, प्यार की नगरी में सदा। Hariye prema bandhamu हमको तुमसे प्यार कितना हमको तुमसे प्यार कितना सारी तुम ही जानते सारी तुम ही जानते दिलों की धड़कन तुमको सारी दिलों की धड़कन तुमको सारी तुम हमारे प्राण हो तुम हमारे प्राण हो हमको तुमसे प्यार है हमको तुमसे प्यार है We love you dear Sai we love you We love you dear Sai we love you We love you dear Sai we love you
Kiera Koto Katoa. Om Sai Ram. My loving pranams at the Kamal Charan of our beloved Guru Sri Satya Sai Baba and to the Swami in each one of you. On this very auspicious occasion of the launch of Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand, I express my deepest gratitude to Bhagavan for allowing us this golden opportunity to recharge our organization with renewed enthusiasm. Sai, as we know, stands for service, adoration, and illumination, the three wings of our organization, and a beautiful synthesis of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. But love must express itself as service. Service to Mother Earth and all its beings adds a meaningful purpose to our lives. On this day, let us unitedly pledge to rededicate ourselves to the divine mission of loving and serving all, in whatever little capacities we can, so that we may realize our innate divinity in this lifetime itself. Much aroha and loving pranams to you all. Sai Ram. Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand is currently engaged in several service projects nationwide. The regional presidents will share with us a brief summary of some of the key projects today. Sai Ram.
My humble salutations at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Sai Ram to you all. I feel very delighted to become the part of Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand, and especially when I find it is affiliated with the Global Council, Sri Satya Sai Global Council at Puttaparthi in India, of course, which is known as the headquarters of Bhagavan Baba. I also feel honored to have given the new role as the National Communication and Information Coordinator. My job is at 3 levels. At the level of Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand, how do I communicate or flow the information to each and every member of the organization? Do you realize communication is a very important tool in every corporate, in every office? Even at the family environment, husband and wife end up fighting due to lack of communication. Sometimes children get upset with parents due to lack of communication, due to lack of information. I'll come back to information slowly. Second level, at the media. Nowadays social media is active. A lot of people are glued to the Facebook, to Twitter, to social media. How do we flow the information in the social media which is helpful to the masses? How do we flow the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba to the entire world? And next is at the inner level. How does the information, the one we want to flow to people, is help us? Information must help us to bring transformation. Nowadays we are glued to internet. That's very good. You can find a lot of information there. But my job is to help people to go into the inner net, to bring the harmony in thought, word and deeds. Even before we flow an information, it's very important to think. T for, is it true? H for, is it helpful? I for, is it inspiring? N for, is it necessary? K for, is it kind? End of the day, we need to help everyone within the organization, at the world, at the society level, and also within ourselves to come to one conclusion, to make a habit. Deva Priti, have love for God. Papa Bhiti, fear of sin. Sanganiti, morality in society. I bow at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Baba to guide me, to help me, to lead me to the truth. I end with the prayer. Asato ma sadgamaya. Lead me from untruth to truth. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Lead me from darkness to light. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Lead me from death to immortality. Jai Shri Sai Ram.
My humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our omnipresent Lord, Bhagavan Shri Satya Sai Baba. Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Om Sai Ram to all of you. First of all, thank you, Swami, for giving us this beautiful organization and granting us this opportunity to be part of it. Today is a momentous day, a day that will be so significant in many, many ways for millions of Sai devotees all over the world. Global Council is the only organization outside of India that will keep us connected directly to our Lord's abode, Prashanti Nilayam. On this occasion tonight, I would like to congratulate each and every member of our organization on the launching of Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand and becoming part of history. To me, Global Council is like a booster shot, takes you straight to the next level of your journey in this spiritual path, and have no doubt that everyone else is feeling the same. This is so reflective when we look at what has been put in place, considering the constraints of lockdown and other factors. Our annual program, as usual, namely the Akhand Bhajans and Swami's birth anniversary celebrations, are both being planned. This will be observed either publicly or virtually, all dependent on the COVID situation in Auckland. The devotional wing is well underway with Pathway to Prashanti, an online program on Saturdays with speakers participating from either Prashanti or Australia. Thursday bhajans and study circles are all happening on Zoom by various centers. Ganesh Chaturthi was very well planned and celebrated virtually as well. The service wing is full of action already. A national project is already underway to mark Swami's 96th birth anniversary. 96 food packs for vulnerable families in Fiji will be delivered by the Avatar Declaration Day on 20th October. This is a partnership project with Save the Children Fiji and the Sai Brothers and Sisters back in Fiji. Multiple need-based projects have been launched already. Debbie Munro, a social worker based in South Auckland, is being supported with food baskets for 10 weeks. These food baskets are been prepared on need basis. The Afghan appeal for essential items been collected to be passed on to Red Cross for distribution when practical after lockdowns. Heart-to-heart conversation initiative by the service team and the young adults is also underway. As for our ongoing projects, the blood drive continues Between now and Swami's 96th birth anniversary celebrations, we would like to have 96 donations made by our members. We will have a fully functional food bank as soon as we are all out of this lockdown. Educare Wing continues to have SSE classes held virtually every Saturday. The young adults had a beautiful virtual singing program already, and various initiatives are in line when we come out of this lockdown. For example, rest home visits, hospital singings, beach and park cleanups, leadership programs, etc. are all being planned. We are now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is where one will get information on all our programs, service projects happening all over New Zealand. I wish to acknowledge all the members for their support in getting these activities underway so efficiently and effectively. This is just the beginning, brothers and sisters. If the team can achieve so much while still in level 4 lockdown, I can't imagine what's there to be done when we are out and free to serve. Brothers and sisters, Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization New Zealand is all-inclusive organization. Everyone is welcome at any time to come and join us for any programs and activities. For me, this organization is a gift of Swami to all of us on earth to cherish, to embrace, and to remain connected to Prashanti Nilayam. May Swami continue to guide and lead us through this beautiful journey. Jai Saram.
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Swami. Loving Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. I am Nandini, the regional coordinator for the Central and Southern region. I am pleased to be aligned with the Sai Global Council, which is based in Prashanti Nilayam, Puttaparthi, the birthplace of our beloved Lord Sri Satya Sai Baba. While being inspired from Prashanti, where the seed of Swami's sadhanas is planted, we should continuously strive to discover Swami within. Continuous practice of sadhanas is necessary to experience and discover Swami within. As Swami has emphasized repeatedly, selfless service is one of the most effective sadhanas to achieve this goal. All the centers in the region are involved in such community service activities. Let us act together in unity to further expand these service activities. I congratulate everyone for joining Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand to be part of this journey. Let us pray for Swami's guidance to move forward in our journey. Sai Ram.
Om Sai Ram, my humble pranams at the lotus feet of my Guru, God, friend and guide, Sri Satya Sai Baba. Loving Sai Ram, dear brothers and sisters, uncle and aunties, elders and the young ones. My name is Vaishali Batsumli and I am the Regional Young Adult Coordinator for Northern Region in Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand. I'm very excited to be part of Global Council as the organization has demonstrated transparency and openness, which is an important trait of any progressive organization. Leaders of such organization are visionaries and make moves that strengthen the organization. Global Council is part of such a vision that unites us all to soak in Global Sai mission and enables us to connect to our spiritual headquarters, that is Prashanti Nilayam. And just remember, dear brothers and sisters, Swami is our ultimate boss, and let us endeavor only to impress him and continue to do his work in a manner that will make him feel proud. Let us all seek our blessings from Bhagavan in this new chapter of Global Council. And I look forward to growing and learning with you all in this divine mission. Jai Sai Ram.
Shri Sai Ram. I offer my humble salutations at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. My name is Kokila Vaidyanathan, and by the divine grace and blessings, I have been chosen as the devotional coordinator for the northern region of Sri Sathya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand. When the concept of Global Council was mentioned to me, it didn't take me few minutes to agree and be part of the divine mission under the Global Council, because the concept talks about unity, working with everybody across the globe, and most importantly, connecting us back to Prashanti, the divine abode of peace. I am very grateful and humbled that I have been chosen to be part of his mission in this divine journey. Om Shri Sai Ram. Thank you.
Om Sri Sai Ram. Pranams at the lotus feet of dear Divine Bhagwan Sathya Sai Baba. Dear brothers and sisters, as a humble Sai Sevak, I have the privilege of serving in the role of Regional Service Coordinator in the Northern Region of Global Council. Indeed, I consider it as a blessing of Swami. I take this opportunity to congratulate all the members who have joined Global Council, who have chosen the large extended Sai family of Global Council. Swami said, expansion is life and contraction is death. Ideologically, we all love Swami and are on the same page. But unfortunately, structurally, we have some differences. GC does not want to be independent, but it wants to stay connected with Prashanti Nilayam. There are two roads. The road to the right leads to Prashanti Nilayam, and Global Council chooses this highway of love and expansion. As a student of Swami, for me the choice was very easy and clear, because most of my memories with Swami are in Prashanti Nilayam, which is so dear to my heart. But for some, it may be difficult, but not impossible. Just open up your heart and listen to your conscience. You will get an answer for sure. In the end, I would urge members to leave the dial-up connection and choose the ultra-fast fiber optics, which connects directly to Prashanti Nilayam, the abode of the Lord and Swami. Jai Sai Ram.
My humble salutations at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Om Sai Ram, respected elders, dear brothers, sisters and children. I am J. Shankar, interim president of Auckland City Sai Center. With my fellow Sai members of Auckland City Sai Center, I want to thank the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust members for bringing the global Sai family under one umbrella called Global Council to connect with our beloved Bhagwan. We all are feeling so blessed and excited to be part of the Sri Sathya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand, and welcome every member and the centers whom have joined us in this divine journey. We seek Swami's guidance and blessing in our journey to realize the God within ourselves. Let us all unite and serve. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Sai Ram to all brothers and sisters. I am Vajra Kumar, the president of Hutt Valley Satya Sai Center. Hutt Valley Satya Sai Center is based in Wellington, Lohart. It was established in 1980s. Currently, we have around 50 to 60 members who are actively participating in various service and spiritual activities. The Hutt Valley Center comprises of members from the different ethnic groups and religions, all pursuing their respective religions and fulfilling the teachings of their religions, by joining together in delivering service to mankind and the nature with the conviction that service to man is service to God. Our focus is to maintain unity among ourselves and the community, as we are one divine family working towards our final destiny of realizing our innate divinity and merging with the divine. We are very much integrated with our local community and the environment and provide service of need via various channels. I am pleased to state that a majority of our members were in favor of joining the Global Council. The decision to affiliate with the Sri Satya Sai Global Council was made unanimously by the center members. We are looking forward to working with new leadership with Swami's guidance and support in this divine journey. Congratulations to everyone who decide to be part of the Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand. Om Sai Ram.
My humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Loving Sai Ram brothers and sisters. My name is Kishore Kumar and I am the president of Mount Wellington Sai Center and held various positions at the center level. I am really proud to be a member of Global Council and congratulate everyone to be part of this journey and support the Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand. I would also like to thank Mount Wellington Sai family members for taking the decisions to be part of Global Council. We look forward to Swami's guidance, support, blessings, and working with you all. Sai Ram.
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, Sri Satya Sai Baba. Loving Sai Ram to all our dear brothers, sisters, and dear children. My name is Krishna Nair, and I am the Center President of Palmerston North Sai Center, which falls under the Central Region of New Zealand. Throughout my journey, Swami has given me an understanding that everything is essentially an expression of love. Through this power of love and seva, we would be doing our duty for our dearest Swami to attain the inner peace. We would like to congratulate everyone involved and let's all work together with purity in our hearts to save all. And this is the reason we have joined the Global Council. And as we feel where Swami comes from and where Bhagwan is from and where the root is from, we look forward to Swami's guidance, support and blessings as we embark on this journey. Jai Sai Ram.
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our divine Guru, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Loving Sai Ram to all my fellow spiritual aspirants. My name is Sarika Shah and currently I am acting as President of Sri Satya Sai Center, Papa Toi Toi in Auckland. With firm belief that Prashanti Nilayam, the abode of highest peace, abode of our Bhagwan, is the source of pure love, peace and divine energy. I feel very fortunate to be associated with the Satya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand. Being part of this organization has given me the opportunity to work with like-minded brothers and sisters towards the common goal of love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never in action. Would like to take this opportunity to congratulate each of you for being on the spiritual journey. May Swami guide us all May our lives become His message. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Swami. Sai Ram to my Sai brothers and sisters. My name is Ramalal and I am the chairperson of Sri Satya Sai Service Organization of Wellington, New Zealand. Our center is known to many as Wellington Sai Center. Our membership with Sri Satya Sai Overseas Organization New Zealand will bring us closer to other centers around the world and also to Prashanti. This will benefit our current and future members. Together with you all, we look forward to our journey with Swami and receive all his blessings and guidance. Jai Sai Ram.
బ్రహ్మానందం పరమసుఖదం కేవలం జ్ఞానమూర్తిం ద్వంద్వాతీతం త్రిగుణరహితం తత్వమస్యాభిలక్ష్యం ఏకం నిత్యం విమలం అచలం సర్వతీ సాక్షిభూతం భావాతీతం త్రిగుణరహితం సాయినం తం నమామి. My most prayerful salutations at the divine lotus feet of my Mother Sai. Honorable office bearers of Sri Sathya Sai Organization, New Zealand, respected elders and dear sisters and brothers, Sai Ram to all of you. Greetings from Prashanti Nilayam, the abode of supreme peace. In the whole of creation, if at all there is a place where you can have supreme peace, it is only here in Prashanti Nilayam, because Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Ishvara resides here all the time. It is in this very place that Bhagavan decided to manifest his avatar. This is the very place where he unfolded his Sai mission, and as per the promise given to his mother Ishwaramba, this will continue to be the center from which the spiritual solace will spread to each and every part of the globe. I have been fortunate enough to come to this place way back in 1968. In fact, those days, Puttaparthi was totally different. It was Arnold Schulman, one of the oldest devotees of Bhagavan, an American scriptwriter, in his book described Puttaparthi of those days as, it is something like this here has written, in South India, in Andhra, there is a remote village called Puttaparthi, which is 10 minutes past Stone Age. In fact, that was really true. And nothing less than a miracle could convert that land into today's Puttaparthi, which has become an international center. Those were the days when this place, it was untouched or unpolluted by the regular mechanized vehicles. In fact, the mode of transport those days were the cart, which has been propelled by the bullocks. It was more of bull power rather than the horsepower of the machines. And those days when we used to come to Puttaparthi, we used to sleep on the muddy land with the stars above us, and there was absolutely no facilities whatsoever. Even our bathrooms used to be hardly, it was thatched, and the bathroom door used to be a gunny sack just to cover. But we forgot all these discomforts when every day Bhagavan used to come and we used to have his darshan, sparshan, his holy touch, and sambhashan. He used to speak with us hours together. We used to forget everything and we used to be in ecstasy. We used to come to Prashanti Nilayam and we used to enjoy the physical proximity of Bhagavan. But today you have all the comfort. In fact, even today, Prashanti Nilayam stands as a lighthouse for all those souls who are struggling with the waves of trials and tribulations in their life, in the sea of samsara. And the devotees who come here, Swami welcomed them with open arms. Those were the beautiful days. And the devotees of those days, they were so firm in their faith. In fact, one of the incidents, what I am going to narrate to you now, it is for each one of us to contemplate and see that do we have that iota of faith in Bhagavan like this particular family had. Swami appeared in the dream of the mother and said, I have decided to perform the marriage of your son. And Swami said, the girl is from such and such a family. Swami in fact gave the address. Swami asked the mother to go and approach the family for the girl. And Swami gave the date on which day he is going to perform the marriage. And Swami asked them to come to Brindavan, Whitefield. Swami also told them, don't bring too many people. Bring only 15 people. Mind you, all these in the dream. But this mother had such faith in Swami that she went in search of this family, and as Swami had told, there was one girl in that family, and mind you, she went and asked for her hand to her son. Imagine today such a situation that Swami has only told in the dream and she had the guts to go and approach a family. That Swami has come in my dream, Swami has told that he is going to perform the marriage, and Swami told, it is your girl from your house. And somehow the family agreed. More than that, the son also agreed for this alliance. See how much faith they should have in Swami. So they all came to Brindavan well in advance of the day Swami had told. But in Brindavan, they had a shock treatment. Swami did not even look at the family. days passed into weeks, and the day was fast approaching. Now there was panic in the group. So they approached revered Ramam Brahman Garu, who was the caretaker of the Brindavan ashram then, and they informed him that as per the instruction of Swami in the dream, they have come for marriage. Being a practical man, Ramam Brahmagaru was furious and said, "How can you do such a thing? And don't expect me to take such messages to Swami." So this was the position. So the whole family, they did not what to do. Imagine the girl's family also they have brought there. Such a situation. And finally the day arrived. And it was one of those Nagara Sankirtanam days in Vrindavan. Those who may not know regarding the Nagara Sankirtanam days, every Thursday and Sunday, there used to be Nagara Sankirtanam in Vrindavan. One group used to come from Belatur and another group used to come from Kadugodi. They all used to come together, and of course we boys used to join from hostel. So we all used to join together and wait for Bhagavan. And before the last song, Swami used to come in the balcony. A beautiful sight for gods to see. The blue sky will be around him and he will be standing there, putting talam to the song sung by the devotees. And the Arati was really special because each and every devotee, whoever wants to do Arati, they can all bring one plate and they can take Arati of Bhagavan. That was the beautiful sight. This particular day also happened to be a Nagara Sankirtanam day, but mother asked the children to get ready for the marriage. Though Swami has not given them any hint, they came to Vrindavan to attend the Nagara Sankirtan, but another shocking news was awaiting for them, because Swami was supposed to go to Puttaparthi immediately after the Nagara Sankirtanam darshan. They were almost shattered. Nothing more is left for hope. And Swami came, and the beautiful darshan of Nagara Sankirtanam is over. Now all of them are going back to the Sai Ram shed. And every Thursdays and Sundays, there used to be Aghant Bhajan from morning 9 till evening. Swami used to come and take the Arati. So when they were moving to the Sai Ram shed, suddenly they heard a voice. And it was the very same Ramabrahmangaru, the caretaker of Vrindavan, calling out their names. And he said, "Swami is waiting for you people. Please go near the interview room." So they all, 15 of them, as per the instruction of Swami, 15 of them, they went and stood near the interview room door. Swami smilingly and gently opened the door of the interview room door, and Swami said, only 15 people. And this lady in turn retorted, yes, Swami, as you told me in the dream, I have got only 15 people, not one extra. And when all of them were ushered inside, and when Swami closed the door, Swami looked at her and said in Tamil, "Nee jeichittai, you have won." But another surprise awaited for them. The whole interview room in Vrindavan, it was so beautifully decorated, befitting to a marriage stage. And Bhagavan performed their marriage so beautifully, and immediately after that, he left for Prashanti Nilayam. Look at the faith of that family. The faith, unflinching faith of the mother. The love, the implicit obedience the son had. He never even thought, when Swami has told this girl, that is it. And what about the other family, the girl's family? All of them, they never ever had any reservation. Even today, their children and grandchildren are so devoted to Bhagavan. Silently, they are working in Prashanti Nilayam, almost all the departments. That is the love. That is the faith. Trials and tribulations, yes, it will come in life so that the best part of us will come out. That is why, in Swami's own words, if you go and request the sugar cane, "Oh sugar cane, please give your sweet juice," will the sugar cane is going to oblige you? No. The sugar cane has to be crushed and pulverized. Then only it can bring out the sweet juice which is immanent in that. So also the trials and tribulations are part of our life, so that we will come out of that victorious, and that the best part of our inner self, that is what we have to surrender it to the Lord. Then you may ask, why all this suffering? Why Swami cannot give everything so easily? But definitely a marriage like this, they will remember for years to come. Whatever, this has only strengthened their faith in Swami. This world is full of sufferings. Janma dukkham, jara dukkham, jaya dukkham punah punaha. Antyakale mahaddukkham tasmad jagrada jagrada, says Adi Shankara. Janma dukkham, birth is indeed a sorrow. Jara dukkham, old age is a sorrow. Jaya dukkham, family life is a sorrow. Punah punaha, antyakale mahaddukkham. And towards the end of our life, we have more of sorrows and sorrows and sorrows. Why? Bhagavan very often used to say, pleasure is an interval between two pains. Pleasure is an interval. It is an interval is always short. between two pains. Why we cannot have joy in this world? In fact, man struggles and struggles to make himself happy with so many things that are surrounding him. But is he really becoming happy? Swami says, you cannot search for happiness in this world. Why? Bhagavan says, it is like going to a hotel. In the hotel, outside, there is a board which has been kept saying that this is a non-vegetarian hotel. You go inside the hotel and you ask, you want a vegetarian dish. How can they serve you? So also Bhagavan says that this world is like a hotel which has got a huge board. You may not see it. What is that board which is reading? Anityam asukham lokam. This world is transient and it is full of sorrow. Now, you are coming into this hotel of which is transient and which is full of sorrow, and you are asking, serve me happiness, serve me happiness. From where can you get happiness in this world? That is why many of us rush to Prashanti Nilayam, because we wanted to enjoy the peace, that peace, eternal perennial peace that is available all the time here with Bhagavan. Swami always says, many people come to me and say, Swami, I want peace, I want peace. Swami says, simple, you can get peace. What you need to do, I want, these two words you remove from the peace, peace will be left with you. This I stands for your ego, and want is the desire, ahankara and mamakara. What is ahankara? The moment you think aham, I, is this akara, I am so and so, then that is the real ahankara. Unfortunately, you don't realize that you are not this akara. Swami want to show the real I who is within yourself, you are nothing but the reflection. You are the spark of the same divine who is present in this. As long as you don't realize this, you will have no peace of mind. One beautiful example I am reminded here. Professor Kasturi Garu, who is the biographer of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Those were the days Swami had made him in charge, more like a private secretary. Also, Kasturi Garu was in charge of the accommodation. He also was the postmaster. He was also the editor-in-chief of Sanatana Sarathi. Not only that, he had the good fortune of translating Bhagavan discourse into English while Swami used to talk in Telugu. So imagine a person who is occupying so many positions. So Kasturi Garu once felt that, see, I am nothing and Bhagavan is giving me so many chances. So I should really express to Bhagavan that, Swami, I am nothing. See, even to feel that you are nothing is a sort of ego. So one day he went slowly upstairs, and Swami knows what you are going to ask. Immediately, Swami took one of the letter and started reading seriously. So he said, Swami, you know how beautifully Swami responds, because Swami knows what's going to come. In Telugu, he told Swami, Swami, Nenu okka chinna purugu danini, he said. Swami, I am just like a small worm. What Kasturi Garu wanted to say, but Swami, you are the one who are making me do all these things. Swami did not allow him to complete. దానికంటే ఎక్కువ అని ఎవరు చెప్పారు నీకు? Who told you you are greater than that? And there closes the matter. So, even ego, the slightest ego come into our mind. Bhagavan is there to correct it so that we will get rid of this ego and we will know that Bhagavan is the doer and Bhagavan is the doer all the time. Second thing is mamakara, or the desire. Even to have good desires also is bad. To become desirelessness must be our aim in life. Again, Kasturi Garu's life, he was one of the fortunate one to go with Bhagavan to Kashi Vishwanatha temple, Banaras. After seeing the beautiful Ganges flowing by and the presence of Bhagavan and such a holy city, in fact, for Sanatana Dharma, there cannot be another holier city than the Kashi. That is what the scriptures say. So, Kasturi Garu thought that, in the scriptures it is said, if you can get a mantropadesha on this holy spot, what a great thing it will be. And Bhagavan himself is here. Kashi Vishwanatha himself is here. So what a wonderful opportunity for me it will be if only Swami could initiate me to some mantra. So he slowly went to Swami and said, Swami, this is such a holy place. Will you please initiate me into some mantra? Swami said, yes, I'll do it. So Kasturi Garu was elated. The whole night he couldn't sleep. Next day, very early in the morning, he got up, and usually it is the custom that if you are going to get initiated into something, usually it should be in empty stomach. These are all the personal sense control part of it is. So from morning, Kasturi Garu did not have anything. He quietly managed to skip the breakfast session, unnoticed by anybody. He used to go and stand in prominent places where Swami used to come, so that anytime Swami may call him and give him the mantropadesha. Already time went by, it was already lunch time. And everybody, all are seated together for lunch. Only Kasturi Garu, he doesn't want to come for lunch. He is still standing in a corner and waiting. Swami looked around and said, Kasturi, why are you standing there? Come sit and eat. Then with a long face, Kasturi came near Swami and said, Swami, what? Have you forgotten? You told you will give me a mantra. You want a mantra. Swami asked him, for what? Then Kasturi Garu said, Swami, so that I will become closer to you, Bhagavan. You know what Swami did? Swami pulled his chair next to Kasturi's chair and said, how much more closer you want? We are deluded. When divinity himself is there with us all the time, does it require a specific place like Kashi? When Lord Vishwanatha himself is there with us all the time, every moment of our life is sacred. Every place where he resides is the hallowed ground. Then why to talk of Kashi? So we are deluded. So ego and desire, if you remove, naturally we will have lot of peace within us. But there are people, when our desires are not satisfied, we leave Bhagavan, we are ready to leave even Bhagavan and go away. For the sake of worldly desires, we forget divinity himself. Trials and tribulations, yes, it is part of our life. After going out in the world, can anyone say that, yeah, we don't have any more troubles in our life? Everyone will have challenges in their life. But it is for us to hold on to the feet of the Lord and says, Anyatha sharanam nasti tvameva sharanam mama. O Lord, I have no other refuge other than you, Bhagavan, other than you alone. Our focus should be always on Bhagavan. Once one mother and son came to Prashantin Layam for Dasara. And at that time, Bhagavan himself used to say who has to stay where, accommodation in charge, and Swami used to be everything. Swami saw this mother and child sitting in the line. Swami went and with beaming smile asked them, when did you come? She said, Swami, we came just now. So, will you stay? She said, yes, Swami. After Dasara only we are going back. Swami said, very happy. And Swami mentioned, you go and stay. Swami mentioned a particular house. In the veranda of those people, you can go and stay. See, those who are the days here in Prashanti Nilayam, there are no concrete building or anything. There were small one-room houses with a small veranda and backside one kitchen. That was it. So the small rooms used to be there. So Swami told her, you can, mentioning one particular household, Swami said, you can go and stay there. So as per Swami's instruction, the mother and child went to stay there. But unfortunately, though Bhagavan himself has told, the householders were not very happy in accommodating one mother and child in their veranda. So they kept on abusing these people, and to top it all, the child became very sick, high fever and vomiting, and the continuous abuse from the household people, everything together, she could not take it anymore. She felt that enough is enough, let me go back. So she went and sat in the darshan line, and when Swami came back, came for darshan, she said, Swami, give me permission to go back home. Swami said, why? You said that you will stay here for Dasara. Then why are you going away? She said, Swami, child is not keeping well. See, she didn't want to tell that the people are creating problem for them. That the tenants there, they are not very happy that they are staying there. So, Swami said, if child is not well, child will be all right. Don't worry, I'll give prasadam. But she insisted, no, Swami, I want to go back. Tell me what else it is. The child will be all right. For that, why do you want to go back? You stay on. She said, no, Swami, I wanted to go. You tell me what is other reason. Then, with great hesitance, she said, Swami, the place where we are staying, I think the tenants there, they are not happy with our stay there. Oh, Swami said, okay, if you want to go, then go. But before you go, I wanted to ask you something, Swami said. Yes, Swami. You are wearing a gold ring in your hand, is it not? She said, yes, Swami. Suppose when you are working, that slips and falls into the trash can, what will you do? Swami, I will pick it up, wash it and put it back. Oh, I am a priceless diamond. And all these trials and tribulations around me, it is like a trash can. So, if you wanted seeing all this trash around me, if you wanted to leave me here and go, you can go. No problem. Of course, that lady never left after that. All the trials and tribulations will come, but it is for us to hold on to the lotus feet of Bhagavan. So, if you want to have peace, I remove the ego. Desire. See, desires are that which is causing all these problems. Then what will be left? You will have the peace. And Bhagavan, he has beautifully taught us how to get peace of mind. Sai bhajan bina sukha shanti nahi, Hari naam bina आनंद नहीं, प्रेम भक्ति विना उद्धार नहीं, गुरु सेव विना निर्वाण नहीं, साई भजन बिना सुख Shanti nahi. Yes, without the bhajans, Sai bhajan, you will never have peace of mind. You may ask, but the bhajans we can have at home. Why we should come to Puttaparthi? In fact, today it has become so very easy, thanks to Radio Sai, that morning and evening we can have the darshan of Bhagavan sitting back at our home, under the comfort zone of our home, under the AC we can spread our leg and enjoy the darshan of Bhagavan morning and evening. Radio Sai has made that possibility to take Bhagavan to each and every house. So why we should come to Puttaparthi? Why we should go and sit cross-legged in the Sai Kulwant hall for hours together, when we can freely available everything at our own home? Is there a difference? Yes, there is a difference. When your wife is cooking so delicious food every day, why do you want to go out for dinner at all? Is it necessary? Or is it not enough if you see the picture of all the dishes on the screen? Will it not satisfy you? Definitely not. Unless you go out and enjoy the delicacies, naturally you are not going to get nourished. So also, only when you physically come to Puttaparthi and enjoy the presence of Bhagavan, then only your heart is going to be nourished. So it is very, very essential for us to connect ourselves with Puttaparthi. You may argue that, oh, Bhagavan is not physically here. Why at all we should come to Puttaparthi? Those days, of course, Bhagavan used to give us interview. During the bhajan time, Swami used to come and sit on the throne. And at the end of the bhajan, Swami used to take arati. All these things. But nowadays, we don't have all those privileges. So why we should go to Puttaparthi? As some of the people say, Swami is in my heart, or Swami has to call, then only we can come to Puttaparthi. All this philosophy, you keep it for yourself. Do you have the urge to come to Puttaparthi? Then Bhagavan will make a way for you. But you will say, there was one of my colleague who had the same type of ideas. One day, he was in the lab and he got delayed for bhajan. Then he felt that, what's the point in going to the mandir now? Let me go back to hostel. After a long day's work, he is also tired. So he goes back to the hostel, and in front of Swami's altar, he sat there and felt, Swami, instead of singing the bhajan there, let me sing for you here. So he took the harmonium and he sang the entire bhajan time in front of Bhagavan. He felt so happy and elated. He felt the presence of Swami and he felt that, wow, this is something amazing that I experienced today. So why I should go to the mandir and sit there for bhajan? When I can get such one pointed concentration here and feeling Swami's presence here, why at all should I go? So once in a while, even if I cannot go to mandir, it is okay. I will sit here and sing bhajans for Bhagavan. This was a passing thought. Within a day or two, he had a phone call. He had a phone call from one of his old students. So he called and asked, Sir, how are you? And after the initial exchange of greetings, he said, Sir, I wanted to tell you something. I had a strange dream, sir, of Bhagavan. I couldn't make out what it means. Because there was a message for you, I am conveying it to you. Swami told me to tell you that, tell that sir that from the beginning of every session till the Arati, I am sitting there in Sai Kulwant Hall in the throne and watching each one of you. Let him not get carried away by the thought that it is an empty chair that is being placed in Sai Kulwant Hall. I am there for each and every session. So, sir, I don't know what it meant, but the sir understood what it really meant. It is message not only for the sir. It is for the message. It is a message for you and me that Bhagavan has not gone anywhere. He is very much present. Only thing is, you need the eyes to see him. You need the eyes of faith and love. Then only you will be able to see that beautiful Lord. Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshuhu unmilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. I prostrate to that Guru who removes the ignorance, the cataract of ignorance by applying the ointment of jnana, the wisdom, then only I will be able to see him. Many of us think that Swami is no more there. You are totally mistaken. Swami is very much here, very much here. That is why only thing is you have to remove. So, if we find fault with something, the fault doesn't lie there. It lies in the spectacle that we wear. The problem lies in our spectacle. In fact, I will tell another story and I will close it. There was a tea shop and there was a little boy who was employed there. One day, the employer called this little boy and said, "Look at the glass on this shop. It is so dirty. Why don't you go and clean it?" So this boy, with all the sincerity, went outside and he was cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. And the glass was not getting cleaned. An onlooker who was looking from outside, he said, "Dear boy, I have been seeing you. You have been struggling to clean the glass. Dear child, the dirt is not outside. The dirt is inside. Go inside and clean. Everything will be clear." The moment the child came inside, and with one wipe, the whole glass was clean. So the problem doesn't lies outside there. The problem lies within our vision. If you, whether in spite of what you feel, Bhagavan is very much, very much, very much here as living and loving divinity. I pray to Bhagavan, Swami, bless all of us. Bless all of us. Let no one suffer, Swami. Samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu. Samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu. Samasta lokaha sukhino bhavantu. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Sai Ram. Thank you everyone for organizing this wonderful program, and a big thank you to everybody. Thank you, Swami, for showering your love, grace on us in launching this Sri Sathya Sai Overseas Organization of New Zealand. Thank you, Swami, for choosing us as your instruments to work in your mission. Thank you, Swami, for being with us in every part of this program and guiding us in the right direction. Thank you, Swami, for helping us to remember you at all times and helping us to continue to engage in activities that will please you. Finally, thank you, Swami, for uniting us, refining us, enlightening us by holding your hands towards the ultimate journey of realizing our innate divinity. Thank you. Om Sai Ram.
Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Satya Sai Hare Bhakta Jana Samrakshak Bhakta Jana Samrakshak Pati Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hare Shashivadana Sridhara Sarva Pranapati Swami Sarva Pranapati Ashrita Kalpalatika Ashrita Kalpalatika Avadandhava మరి అంతయు నీవే స్వామి మరి అంతయు నీవే నాద బ్రహ్మ జగన్నాథ నాద బ్రహ్మ జగన్నాథ నాగేంద్రాశయన ఓం జయ జగదీశ హరే ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी हो साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंधुको मंगल आरती अंधुको मंगल गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम सत्यनारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। गजानना श्री गण